I'm here in Tully, New York, Catatuck, New York, in Binghamton, New York, at the bus station, at a rail center, a place that used to be a connector for Tully and even New York City. And it's not bustling. The bus station isn't bustling. Binghamton isn't bustling. People aren't rushing back and forth from Binghamton to Syracuse, and Syracuse to Rochester, Rochester to Buffalo. They're not doing that right now, and they're not enjoying the wonder of the state. Anything you could want here: wineries and farmland and mountains, hiking, fishing, hunting. Would you rather have culture? Would you rather go wine tasting? Would you rather have classical music? All here in this amazing state. But sadly, people are leaving. They're giving up. They're giving up because they believe that either they're not safe or it's not affordable. Maybe there's not enough opportunity. It's causing them to leave. It's causing them to give up. All of us in New York should be able to enjoy all of New York's glory and natural beauty. We need something more. The state is awesome, and we can fix it. It's worth fighting for. We can get people out to do it again. Help out farmers, help out small businesses, help out places like Tully and all parts of upstate New York and New York City. We can do that. We can let them know that they should not give up New York. We can't give up New York. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up New York.
Oh, yes, I am so happy that you guys are here with me today. It is Larry Sharpe here, and I thought that was a very interesting way of starting tonight's chat, a little bit past 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Why? Because this is about New York State. This is about our nation. And a lot of people will say, well, Larry, I don't want to hear about New York because I don't live in New York. Here is the problem. What happens in New York comes to you. You might think it doesn't. You are wrong. It's coming to you. If you live in, Massachusetts or Pennsylvania, it's coming pretty soon. Live in Utah, you got a couple years, but it's still coming to you. And that's the problem. It is coming to us. It's coming to you no matter what it is. And the problems that we see now, and I'm going to bring up some of the people that have been in the news recently. And one of those people, of course, is RFK, right? And by the way, I'm going to talk about what's happening here in New York, across the country. I will also, of course, always do an AMA. You can ask me what you want through the comments. I will also be watching comments also. But RFK, Cornel West, these are people who are fighting to get on the ballot. I get it completely. They want to be on the ballot. I understand that. But they have trouble. Why? Because third parties have been crushed for literally decades, and we're having the same problem here in New York State. It isn't just it isn't across the country only. It's here in New York State. And we have some of the harshest things, the harshest ways of making it happen. And while I'm happy that Cornel West and RFK Jr. are trying to run, I am. I think it's a great thing. I think more third parties is good. I'm not just saying that because, I'm a libertarian. It's not only reason why I'm saying it. Obviously, I want libertarians to run and win. Clearly, I want that. I'm utterly biased. But I know that we can't do what we want to do if they can't do what they want to do. We are in this together. Now, that's good and that's bad. Here is the good part. If more people see third parties, if more people see value in third parties, right? If more of them do it, then here's the glory. It becomes more natural for all of us. So their success will become our success. I think that's true, right? The more people who get it, it's true. However, it's a big however here. Next year's going to be tough for us because usually there is maybe one, maybe two groups of people trying to heavily get on the ballot. Now there's going to be a lot. Cornel West, someone just asked, Dave just asked me, I thought Cornel West dropped out. He did not drop out. He stopped. He left the Green Party. He is an independent, not Green Party, right? With that in mind, he's going to probably try to get on the ballot, I assume, in all the states on his own as an independent candidate. That's one. The Green Party, I'm assuming, I don't know, I don't have any information on this, but my assumption is the Green Party will also try to put somebody on the ballot. Maybe Howie Hawkins again, maybe somebody else, whoever they think is appropriate. Well, that's two people. Libertarians, of course, we're putting somebody on the ballot. Of course we are. And then RFK Jr. That's four people trying to get on the ballot at the same time. You might say, so what? Why does that matter? Well, in some states it doesn't, right? For example, like California, as an example, you can sign all the ballots at once. Not in New York. New York, you can only sign one of them. That's it. Only one of them. So if someone decides, hey, I want to sign a petition, you can only sign one of 4 now. So if you need 60,000 people to get in the ballot, now all 4 of us need 240,000. You can't sign the same ballot twice. In certain states, I was talking to Sarah Stogner yesterday. She was saying in Texas, you can't sign if you're a member of another party. You can't sign for an independent party. So if you're a Republican, you can't sign for a non-Republican. That's what she told me yesterday. This is going to be challenging. So that's the hard part. The hard part is it will take more work for us. The good part is more people running independent and more popular people, right? Look, I wish I was super popular. I wish I was more popular than RFK Jr. That'd be awesome, but I'm not. He is more popular than I am, and so is Cornel West. That popularity matters. More people out there caring about it, talking about it. Eventually, people get moved. As I've said many times, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep smashing my head against the wall? Why do I keep doing this? Because we don't know. We can't see how close it is from that wall. It is for that wall to break. We don't know. And we just keep hitting it. And eventually, it's just going to smash. I don't know when. Is that tomorrow? Is that 10 years from now? I don't know. But I know that we got to keep smashing it. I can get guys like JFK, guys like Cornel West who also smash. I'll take it. But with that in mind, it means it's going to be a whole lot harder for us to deal with this. A lot harder. A lot harder. With that in mind, that's why I'm out here bugging you. That's why I'm doing it. Tell me, guys, help me out. How do I want you to help you out? Help me out the simplest way. Click the like button. Every time you see my stuff, click that like button. If you're watching it on Twitter, share it on Twitter. That is an important thing. Please do that if you can. It does matter. I know I say it, but please do it. If you haven't subscribed to my channels, please subscribe. Please follow me. If you haven't followed me, please do all those things. Each piece does matter. Please do that. It absolutely does matter, right? Please do that. But then what are we going to do? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to actually go out of our way with an actual plan to get 130,000 votes next year. And we're going to try our damnedest to also get at least 60,000 signatures next year. And that is not going to be easy at all. So I made a video on this, and I'm going to show you this video real fast if I could. I've done a couple of videos, right? I crossed the state constantly. By the way, I'm going to be out this weekend also crossing the state. Again, 7 stops, which I'll cover in a second. But I also want, this is what we want to do, right? This is the goal. The goal is to actually get everything that we want to get. And here is.
So which state suppresses the most voters? I'm going to go with New York. Now, why would I go with New York? Because every election cycle, over 500,000 New Yorkers vote for the independent candidate. Well, that was true until last year. Last year, New York State decided to make it impossible for the independent governor candidate to get on the ballot. Impossible for you as an independent voter to make a decision on who to vote for in your state. They did that. Changed the rules and made it impossible. You might say, well, Larry, why didn't you try to fight it? I did. I spent days and hours and weeks and tens of thousands of dollars trying to fight this in county office buildings, in courthouses across this state, Western New York City, and Albany, all over the place. And each and every time, judges didn't care. Each and every time, lawyers from the 2 major parties came by and stomped our rights so that we couldn't get our voice and our opinions out. That happened again and again and again. But we can change that. In fact, if you are an independent voter, you must change that, or you will have no voice, no chance, and there'll be no change in this state. You will get the same thing you've been getting again and again and again. How do we do that? Well, we are going to have to get out there and get 45,000 valid signatures across New York State in the springtime when there's still snowstorms in New York. We got to do that, and that's not going to be easy. But we can, because the state is going to fight us on that. And they're going to make sure we have to get 90,000 signatures and so many. But we can do it. It can be done. But once we get that, we then have to get 130,000 votes. We need 130K to play here in this state. Next November 2024, we have to get 130,000 votes. We can do that too. How? Head over to LarrySharpe.com and support me in this endeavor. Support me in this journey of raising the right amount of both volunteers and dollars to make this happen, to get people out and excited so we can get those signatures and then get the word out so that in 2024, we get those 130,000 votes and we get access to a ballot, which is the simplest thing. We can do it, but it's going to be hard. It takes time, it takes money, it takes energy. Support me in this endeavor. If you are an independent voter, you have no choice. It's that or you got to pack up and leave. Please don't leave. Stay here. Support this wonderful state. Support this endeavor. LarrySharpe.com. We can make a new way of fixing this state, a new way of thinking about elections. We can make a new New York.
Now, I did that actually a while ago, right? I did that that piece a while ago, and I'm happy that I did it. I'm happy people saw it and are supporting me, and please do so. But it's not going to be easy. It got harder. It's still most important. Why does it matter? Let me give you some reasons why this matters. New York State right now is basically a one-party state. Other states are going that way. If we don't break a third party, there is no way any state, our democracy literally goes away, right? We're not able, if you're a Republican in this state, your vote doesn't count in statewide elections. I'm not joking. Now, that's the same thing in other states, but maybe like Oklahoma, you're Democrat. Who cares, right? Whatever it is, California, Republican, your statewide vote does not matter. It is irrelevant what you do. But what do I keep hearing? If you're a Democrat in Oklahoma, what do you go? This time we're going to win. No, you're not. If you're a Republican in New York, this time you're going to win. No, you're not. Not in a statewide election. Locally, Republicans win in New York State. If you have a nice Republican you like in your local area, please vote for them, whatever. Fine. But statewide, it does not matter. Democracy is broken. If we don't fix this, it can't be fixed. So that means we have to work on this. Let me grab a couple of super chats and such. I'm going to grab some comments, you guys. Dave, thank you for the $9.99. I appreciate the super chat. Sending you some money. Thank you, Dave. What happens in California is coming to the U.S. also. Yes, 100%. Yes, California and New York, we fight for that. We fight to see who can be worse. I'm sad that we often go back and forth, and sometimes we win that. So yes, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I think it's pronounced Kaiwan. How do you think is the run for the average person that's not working any parties whatsoever, and he's kind of a Republican, but not really? Yeah. I think it's going to be very tough. I agree with you. Let me be very clear about working with parties and not with parties. What most people don't get is they say, well, Larry, I'll just run independent. Yeah, but where is your infrastructure? Where is your money? Where is your institutional knowledge on getting on the ballot, right? If I'm some guy who wants to get on the ballot, I guess I could in theory do it, but oh my God, how much money am I going to have to spend? Right? Are you independently wealthy? Now, if you're RFK Jr., maybe you have the cash and you can do so. But I'm assuming that most people watching this podcast aren't thinking, man, yeah, I've got $10 million, right? You're going to have to hire people, hire everything. I mean, it's very challenging. So, and there's a good and a bad though, right? If RFK Jr., because he has a name already, if he runs as a Green or Libertarian or Constitution Party or any of those three, it might hurt him in theory. And you might say, well, why? Because people have an image of the Libertarian Party, an image of the Green Party, an image of the Constitution Party that they're now going to stick on him. But he's already very popular. So if he runs as RFK, that becomes his brand. So depending upon how popular you are, it might actually for him be better if he runs independently. I don't know the answer to that one, Kaiwan. I'm saying it might. He's very popular. If you're not popular, the party always helps you. I mean, not even close, right? Of course. But if you're a superstar already or very popular, it may hurt. Now, the advantage, of course, you get all the infrastructure. The disadvantage is you have to listen to your party, right? Now, the exception, I think, kind of is Forward the way, because Forward doesn't really have a massive platform. So you can be more of kind of anything-ish and be in Forward. But if you want to be Green, you got to be Green. If you want to be Libertarian, you got to be Libertarian. And a lot of candidates who want to get in the ballot don't want to do that. They want to be themselves, but use party infrastructure. That can be a challenge. So not for Democrats, Republicans, they don't care. They're just, they're establishment. They don't care. Doesn't matter to them at all. So I hope that answers your question. Robert says the Supreme Court refused to hear the ballot access case. What now for New York libertarians? I keep saying this, and I want to keep going. There are a lot of people in New York State, maybe even the most, I don't know, but there are a lot of them in New York State, particularly libertarians, who are like, don't bother. It's over. Walk away. Just do local stuff. Don't go for ballot access, all that stuff. I disagree completely. And it puts me at odds with some libertarians in New York State. They're like, don't, it's a waste of time, waste of money, don't do it. I disagree completely. I think the only way that Libertarian Party in New York becomes valid anyway is to still fight for ballot access. And here's why I say that. For those of you who think I'm wrong, let me tell you why I believe what I believe. In 2018, when I was on the ballot, all the media people who weren't mainstream were my best friends, all my buddies. If you remember, in 2018, I got on all the cool podcasts, all the cool shows, tons of press. 2022, these people know who I am now. I have direct contacts with many of them now. They knew exactly who I was, but I wasn't on the ballot. They all of a sudden forgot who I was. In their eyes, I was not valid. Now, of course, I personally hated that. Of course, I didn't like that. I was angry about that. I was upset. I was insulted. Of course I was. And it doesn't matter. As crappy as I felt, and I did feel crappy about it, it did not matter. They needed me to be on the ballot or I wasn't valid and they didn't want to talk to me. Did you notice 2022? I wasn't on all those shows. I wasn't. Yet I was more popular and they knew me and they knew I could do a good show and they still didn't want to talk to me. Why? I wasn't on the ballot. In their eyes, I was not valid. Boy, did I learn that lesson the hard way last year. And that hurt. But man, lesson learned. I accept that as a lesson. If you get your butt kicked and don't learn anything, you just took an ass whipping for nothing. But if you get your butt kicked and you learn something, now it's a lesson. So I took my lesson and I've learned from that lesson. Being on the ballot matters to almost everyone. Maybe not me as much because I put people on my show who are on the ballot all the time. Clearly, I'm the oddball. But if I want the press, if we want people to understand us, we want people to see us, we got to be on the ballot. So I'm going to fight to be on the ballot. You're right. The Supreme Court refused to hear us, which is, to be forward with you, I told many of you this. People asked me, well, Larry, why are you fighting so hard to get on the ballot? You know, the court case is still going. I told all of you, I didn't think I had a chance at all. Again, last year, I learned my lesson. I saw judges. I saw exactly how they think, and they don't give a shit at all. It is blatantly, clearly unconstitutional, and they don't care. New York State judges support the state, not the people. Make that crystal clear. They support the state, not the people. The people are in the way for New York State judges, but they care about the state. So I must change everything next year, and I must fight to follow by their rules or not. If I follow their rules and make this happen, I will break the system. I know that. That's why I'm asking for your help, Robert. The answer is you guys follow me next year. We get ballot access in 2024 so that I have a shot at running in 2026. Here's what I also learned. I cannot try to get ballot access and run a campaign. That is impossible. My campaign last year was not a great campaign. I'm the first person to tell you that. People complain all the time. Yeah, we didn't do this. Yeah, well, I was getting my ass kicked. So I guess you can be mad at me if you want to. Maybe you can try next time. You won't. You'll just complain. But I will. I will go again. After hitting the canvas last year, I will get back up. They didn't count the 10 on me. I'll get back up and go again. I'll do it. But I need to have ballot access to do that. We must do that in 2024, which is next year. For those of you who go, Larry, you can save New York. Some of you believe that. I hope you're right. I would like to. I cannot do it in 2026 if I don't get ballot access in 2024. Let me repeat that for those of you who care. Some of you maybe don't care. Okay, you don't care. I don't know why you're watching. But assuming that you care, I can't do it in 2026 if I don't get ballot access in 2024. Larry, you saying you won't run for governor in 2026 if we don't have ballot access in 2024? Yes, that is what I'm saying. You will not see me on the ballot in 2026 if we don't have ballot access in 2024. I will not do it. No. Some of you don't care. Okay, I don't know why you're watching. But if you do care, if that matters to you, then help. Now, if you say, Larry, I got no cash, no worries. You got no cash. It's fine. Some of you don't have cash. I got it. People get in tough spots. You can still volunteer. Head over, click the volunteer button. We will be asking. A lot of you have been volunteering and I haven't gotten back to you yet. Why? I don't need you till April. April is when I need you. So if you want to volunteer, please clear enough of your schedule in April and May to be getting signatures. Please, if you plan on volunteering. Don't go, well, I'm going on vacation. Don't go on vacation in April and May of next year if you plan on volunteering, right? If you don't plan on volunteering, do what you want, obviously. But if you plan on volunteering, do not go on vacation in that time. Do not have big projects on that time. Send your kids off to the grandparents or whatever that time. I need you to, as much as possible, to be out there getting signatures for us in April and May of next year. That is critical. So if you want to volunteer, please do that. If you don't, you can always give. Right? Giving is fine. Money matters. We need both money and what do we need money? For lawyers, because they will sue. But now I know how to handle them at least. So we need money for lawyers, right? And we need money to get some paid people. And we're going to have to advertise. Because here's the thing. Once we get on the ballot, that isn't enough. It's not enough. Now we have to make sure we get the 130,000 votes, which is going to be harder because there's going to be at least 3, if not 4, independent candidates, which makes our life harder. Not impossible, but oh my God, is it harder. So we need more people to do more work and more advertising. And I will be sacrificing my time and energy and money because when I don't have a salary, right? I'm a consultant. If I'm not working, I'm not making money. I don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks, right? It's not how it works. I provide value, clients pay me. If I'm out here doing this, I'm not getting paid. So I'm literally sacrificing my time and my money to do this. And I will do so. I will do so. I will travel the state again next year, promoting whoever is our candidate so that they will get the 130,000 votes in this state. I will convince that candidate to visit this state, do events in this state to make sure we do it. Now, just so you're aware, this weekend, I am out and about. I am doing it. This weekend, I'm doing it. I'll be out in a full Sharpe. I have 2 trips left, I believe, this week and then 2 weeks later, one more, and I will have completed my journey across the state. Friday at 6 p.m., I will be in Albany, New York. You can check my Facebook page out. You can also check out my Twitter. You can also check out my Instagram. The list is right there, right? I'll be at Lynn's Uptown Tavern in Albany. Saturday at 10 a.m., I will be in Sherburne, the diner there. At 2 p.m., I'll be in Roxbury at the Watershed. Saturday at 6 p.m., I'll be at the Bavarian Manor in Purling. Sunday at 10 a.m., I'll be in Wurtsboro, the Wurtsboro Diner. And Sunday at 1 p.m., I'll be at the actual Fall Foliage Festival in Port Jervis. And Sunday at 6 p.m., I'll be at McCarthy's Grill House in Carmel. Now, you might say, wait a minute, Larry. All these places? Yes. No, none of them are corporate owned. All of them are locally owned businesses, which I always support every single time. Every time. When you go to any of these events, you don't have to pay to come to the event. You can just come see me. Anytime you want. Just come see me, ask me questions, talk to me. And if you're saying, Larry, how else can I support you? Show up. Why does showing up matter? You might say, Larry, why do I have to come see you? I know you. I see you on the internet. I don't need to see you. Maybe you don't. But you know who doesn't need to see you? Other people who have given up. Other people who are maybe on the fence. You showing up at one of these events this weekend really does matter, right? You showing up at these events shows other people they're not alone. Shows other people that we care. Shows other people that when you say you'll show up to start doing signatures, that someone else will be there with them. Showing up matters. It's very important. Showing up matters. This is why I bug you. I'm showing up. I'm losing my weekend. I'm Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm upstate New York running around. I'm not hanging out. My family and friends. Well, you got some of you guys are my family and friends, so I kind of have been away, but I'm still doing it. And I'm doing this now. So guys, do me a favor. Support me. LarrySharpe.com/ballot-access. Check that out. The link is in all the descriptions. Give what you can. What I'm asking you for is $24 for 2024 every month for the next year. That's what I'm asking. 1 year, give me $24 a month for a year. Why a year? That's what it is till our next election. For a year. I'm promising you that I'll keep doing this. For those of you who don't know, this is my 6th year crossing this state. For 6 years, I've crossed it. I crossed this state years where I'm not running. I'm not running for anything. And I'm still doing it. I'm still meeting people. How in the world could I have known by how much Lee Zeldin's going to lose last year? How did I know that? Because I have magic powers. I wish I did. I'd make a whole bunch of magic money. I'd be the Fed making magic money. But I can't do that. I know the state. Why? I travel. I talk to people. I talk to average, regular, everyday people in pubs and diners and wineries and at festivals. Regular people all the time. That's how I know. I'm out there. I shake hands with more people than the people who are actually elected. So yes, that's why I do it. So support me if you can. It does matter. That is what I'm trying to do. So let me grab a couple more comments if I could to make this, let's see here. James asks, what are your thoughts on RFK Jr. now running as independent? I feel that he will take all the momentum from Chase Oliver or Lars or whoever the LP puts up, unless it's Justin Amash. I think your fears are valid, James, and I brought that up. I think you're valid. In the long run, RFK Jr. is very good for us as libertarian in the long run. Why? Because the more people and popular people who run independent, the more valid we become. So in the long run, he is great for us. In the short run, we are going to struggle. I think you're right. Whoever is our candidate is going to not get a bunch of independent votes they might have gotten by default. That's true, right? They're taking our votes. Ooh, how's that sound, right? But that's true. If the Libertarian was the only independent candidate on the ballot, they get all the I hate the duopoly votes by default. That's true. But that's not going to happen. So there will be people like Lars or Chase or whomever. You mentioned Lars and Chase. Whoever will be the candidate will be on, and they'll get all the hardcore libertarians, right? Because they don't like the other parties. They'll do that. But you're right. Some of the independents will split. It's true. It's going to be harder, which means one thing, James. We have to work harder, right? We have to work harder. That's it. That's the answer. I wish there was another answer. We have to work harder, find more money, find more volunteers, find more time. It's why I'm on right now bugging you, because we have to do it. You're right. I do think Justin Amash would be a great candidate if we could have him. He's not running, right? I mean, he's not. We have a lot of people who aren't running. People are like, oh, why won't Dave Smith? He's not running. We want Spike. He's not running, right? They're not running. So you can be mad if you like Chase or you like Lars or you like Josh or you like whoever. Great if you like them. If you don't, this is what we got, man. That's what we got. So I think we have to push forward on this. You're right. It's hard. I agree with you. Now, why do I think RFK Jr. is running as independent? I'll tell you what I think. I have no inside information here. This is my opinion on this. You ask my opinion, I will tell you. I think it's the same reason why Cornel West left the Green Party. What people don't get is when you run with a party like the Greens or the Libertarians, we, the members of those parties, we want you to be like us, right? We judge you. Greens judge you by how green you are, as they should to the Green Party. I get it, right? They're socialistic. They care about, that's who they are. If you want to run green, you got to be almost, if you've got to be close to socialist, if not total socialist, or they're unhappy, right? Because that's who the Greens are. I get it. I'd never run as green. But yes, if you're libertarian, you got to at least be kind of libertarian. If you're not, we're going to be mad at you, right? So I think people like Cornel West and RFK Jr. think, why do I need you? I don't want to change it in my opinions. My opinions may not be green enough or libertarian enough. So I'm not going to put up with your stuff. I'm just going to go do my own thing. And I think their personalities stop them. That's what I believe. And again, no inside information. That's my gut. I think if Cornel West didn't want to deal with the Greens because he's not green enough for them. So he's like, all right, I'll do my own thing. I think RFK thinks the same way about all the parties. He wants to be his own guy. That's my gut. Do I think it'll be harder for him? Maybe. Because at least the Greens have, I forgot how many, 30 some odd states, I think, something like that. We have like 40 or something. I forgot what the number is. But we have a whole lot more states. They have none. They're starting from scratch. Very hard. And in states like Texas and New York, if you don't have a personality behind it, it will be challenging. Now, luckily for RFK Jr., he's popular in New York, right? In a certain section. However, Democrats are hammering him. And New York State's mostly Democrats. So there will be people who, and some of you may be upset by this, but it's just true. There'll be people who will see a petition with RFK Jr. on it and go, oh no, he'll take votes from Biden. No. And they won't sign it. That will be a problem. You have to deal with it. It'll cost them more money. So I hope I answered your question. So, all right. UMass says Larry Sharpe for governor of New York. Thank you, my friend. Hopefully one day we can hope. Yes. Dave says 45,000 signatures equals 90,000. Well, maybe. I hope you're wrong, Dave, but you might be right. I'm hoping it's more like 60 to 70,000. The issue is, at what point do Republicans and or Democrats go, not worth going after? It's probably good, right? They have to assume what is a good amount of, what is the good rate of signatures. Now, what libertarians do, what people who know how to do signatures do, is they make sure the signatures are cleaned effectively. They go through and check with the people who are there. Did you do this? Did you do that? They train people. Is it right? So most of the signatures will be good signatures. So they'll assume a number. For example, they'll go, well, it's Larry Sharpe. Odds are about 75% will be good signatures, right? So if he goes 25% over, we're wasting our time. Don't bother. And this is a number that they will select. This is not my number. They will make an assumption that if it goes past X, it's not worth it. Leave them on the ballot. I don't know what that number is. I hope it's not 90,000, but you might be right. My gut says if we get about 75,000, they'll go not worth it, because enough signatures will be good enough. The percentage will be fine. We can't, because think about it. If I give them 70,000 signatures, they have to find 25,000 that are bad. That's a lot of signatures to fight. Plus, we can then counter that and then make them good, right? Showing why they are okay, right? Now we got to go through each signature. It can be done and people do it, but I feel there's a number where they'll say no. I think it's like 65, 70,000. But to be fair with you, Dave, I don't know. The Republicans will pick whatever number they're prepared to deal with. So, yes. Anyway, so yes. Let me try. Anthony says, how come the regular voter doesn't care that neither of the two big parties have a policy or initiative of their own, but require all third parties to have policy initiatives that would work? This is a great question, right? And people often say that. Well, Larry, you know, the Democrats don't have any policies. Why do you have to? I have to. It is a broken culture and a broken system. Here's how it works, Anthony. The left says, you have to vote for me. If you don't, the evil Republicans, led by the evil orange man Trump, are going to destroy this country. The world's over. There's no democracy. It's the end. You must vote for me or it's over. There is no democracy. It's all over. Well, if I'm giving you that and you believe that, why do you care if I have a policy or not? You're literally defending America against the evil who are destroying democracy, right? So who cares about policy? You're my defender. It becomes a crisis that is past policy. That's the left. I'm the right. The same thing. Hey, you have to vote for me. If you don't, the evil libs Democrats are going to come over and they're going to destroy America. They hate America. They're going to destroy America. America will not exist anymore. They will rip to pieces. There'll be nothing left. What you saw of America, gone. Nothing. The country's destroyed. Oh my God, I got to vote for Republicans now. Otherwise, the country's gone. That's why. That's the reason. By the way, they're lying. Neither of those things is true. Neither is true. They've been swapping back and forth for the past 50 years. And the country just slowly gets worse. What's going to happen is the country keeps getting slowly worse, regardless of who wins. It doesn't matter, right? If you prefer the right, you'll get Trump in and you'll be okay for about 4 years. Then Biden comes in, or whoever the Biden, like Kamala Harris or whomever is the Gavin Newsom, right? So you've delayed your pain if you're a Republican for 4 years. That's all you've done. But it's still going down. If you're a Democrat, still going down. If you beat Trump this time, awesome. Biden is for 4 more years. Then who do you get next time? Vivek, Nikki Haley, whatever. You're a Democrat. You hate that. You're screwed either way. You're just delaying 4 years. That's not good enough. So the reason why the voter doesn't care is the voter is scared into feeling that if I don't vote for my team, the other team will destroy America. That is the reason. Now, here's the good part. More and more people are realizing it's BS. More and more are. Still not enough. Not yet. But it is happening. And again, the fact that RFK Jr. is running, the fact that Forward Party exists, right? The fact that No Labels exists, the fact that Cornel West is running, these are all good signs that we are moving towards what we want. So while I do think, right, to the earlier point that James brought up, it's going to hurt us as libertarians in the short run. It is. But in the long run, I think it's amazing. I think it is good. I hope that was clear. Look, guys, if you like what I'm saying, it makes sense to you, click the like button. I bug you all the time. Hit like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, follow me wherever you are, get the notifications. It does matter. Please do it. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet this right now. And please, if you can, head over to larrysharpe.com/ballot-access and give what you can give. What I'm asking you for is $24 for 2024, $24 a month for 1 year. Why? I'm already giving you, I've given this state 6 years already. This is the 6th year I've crossed the state. When I cross the state next year to promote our candidate to get us on the ballot and to get us ballot access, it will be my 7th year going to every single county in this state. Let me say it again. This right now is my 6th year crossing New York State and going to every county. And I'm doing it again. I have 2 more trips coming. One next weekend. Next weekend, I will be out in New York State again, visiting local businesses, meeting average people. You don't have to pay a thing. You can just show up. I would like you, though, if you show up, to buy something, a soda, a meal, a beer, whatever you like. Please buy something from the local person there to give them some business. Please, that's my request. You do not have to do it, though, if you don't want to. You don't have to pay. But Friday, 6 p.m., Lynn's Uptown Tavern in Albany, New York. Saturday, 10 a.m., the Sherburne Diner in Sherburne. 2 p.m. on Saturday in Roxbury, New York, the Watershed. 6 p.m. on Saturday in Purling, New York, the Bavarian Manor. October 15th on Sunday, 10 a.m., Wurtsboro Diner in Wurtsboro. Sunday at 1 p.m., the Fall Foliage Festival, Port Jervis, New York. And of course, Sunday at 6 p.m., McCarthy's Brew House, Carmel, New York. Please come visit me. It does matter. Why does it matter? When you show up, other people see you showing up. They realize they're not alone. It moves everybody to help out, to volunteer, to tell their friends, to tell their families, all those things. And you know that I do all my things live. No notes. You can just ask me questions, no matter who you are, what you want to say it. I'll take the question. And I'll try my best to go live it so you can see it live, watch what I'm doing. I'm trying my best to make this work. Please do that if you can. It helps tremendously. All right, I'm going to grab a couple more comments if I could. John says, lots of love, Larry, lots of love. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Andrew says, Larry Sharpe, the man with an actual plan and commitment. Yes, my plans don't always work, Andrew. Last year was a good example of that. My plans don't always work, but man, I have them. And look, as a business consultant, I say this all the time. I would rather have a mediocre plan executed by people who actually care than an amazing plan executed by people who don't care. Because if the people care, they will adjust the plan as need be. They will adjust it as they go, right? They will. And I think that's a critical piece. And that's why, yes, I say this all the time, Andrew. I cannot, in good conscience, point my finger at you if I don't point my finger at myself first, right? And I like pointing my finger at people. So I got to point my finger at myself a whole lot. So I'm going to sit here and say, Andrew, I need you to commit to me. I need you to give me money. I need you to show up. I need you to commit. Then I have to commit. I do it first. And I am, right? When I first ran my campaign, the first thing I did when I started my campaign is I wrote myself a check for $10,000. I'm not joking. So I did. And I went into debt my first campaign because I said, how am I going to ask other people for money if I won't put my own money in this game? If I don't believe in myself, to write myself a check to put my own money into this, how am I going to sit there and go, Andrew, you better give me money. Larry, you give yourself money? No. So I'm sacrificing my time showing up. You can sacrifice yours. I'm sacrificing my money showing up. You can sacrifice yours. I physically write myself checks. You can write a check too. Yes, that's correct. I spend my own money in this campaign. I spend my own time, so you can too. So I'm not pointing my finger at you without pointing at myself first. Always myself first, but now you too. So we can both do it together. I've said it before. I want you to bleed with me, not for me. Bleed with me. Together we bleed. Together we bleed to fix this thing. Andrew goes on to say, before I forget, here's this week's AMA question for me. Are you familiar with Javier Milei? He's a radical libertarian candidate for president of Argentina. I think he might have a good shot. I am. I think the glory of a guy like him is, even if he doesn't, I think he does. I agree with you. I think he does. But even if he doesn't, this goes right back to the same idea. Maybe this is the time. This is the time for us to actually get people to hear us. The first step is them hearing us. That's the number one, them hearing us. That's what I want. So I agree with you. He does have a shot. It's another example that our message is getting out. Another example of that. So I appreciate that. Absolutely. Yes. Robert says, imagine if a Kennedy party gets 130K votes and becomes ballot qualified. I think it probably will. I don't think that's at all crazy. I think it probably will. I think he could absolutely do it, right? It's possible. Getting ballot access will mean a whole lot of signatures. And here's the other advantage, right? The other advantage is if RFK Jr., I mean, literally, he is a law firm. He has lawyers. If he gets enough signatures and they take him to court, he'll win in court, which means we'll win in court. That's another thing people don't realize, right? We will win in court this time because when he shows up in court, it'll be public. And judges hate public because most judges are terrible. And if what they said was actually out in the public, they'd be embarrassed. I don't know about, I said New York State judges. Most New York State judges are terrible. What they say out publicly is embarrassing. They don't want it public. RFK Jr. will all be public. They won't be able to not make it public. So they're going to have to go, oh, I guess I can't be so terrible anymore and just so obviously support the state and crush New Yorkers' rights. I can't do that. Okay. So that's an advantage. And he might get 130,000 votes. He might. It's possible. Now, again, New Yorkers do love Biden. That's true. That's not true. They don't love Biden. New Yorkers do love Democrats. That's what I'll say. And I don't mean every New Yorker, but as a whole, we do love Democrats as a whole. So maybe not, but I could see it happening. So maybe if he gets in, we don't. I can convince him to give us his party. Maybe. I think I might become an RFK bestie. It's not a bad idea, Robert. You don't need that party, do you? I could take that from you off your hands. Come on, I'll take that off your hands. If we'll do that, who knows? So I'll take what I can get. I got to get an independent party. I'll take what I can get. If we can't get ours, maybe I'll grab his. Let's see if we can do it. So yes. All right. Robert says, glad to see you again, Larry. What's the strategy at the 5% needed? This is a hard one, Robert. And I'm just being very forward. It's a hard one. 5% is going to be tough this year. Next year, I'm sorry. It's going to be tough. And the reason why is because there probably will be 4 independent candidates on the ballot, each one trying to get 5%. So we would have to have independent votes in the Ross Perot numbers, 20% or so, for any of us to get 5%. I'm not sure if any of us will. I'm just being forward. I don't know. It's going to be tough. This goes back to my thing earlier. We're going to have to work harder at the ground level, right? We have to get people to realize it does matter. And the funny part is what should happen. Robert, let me tell you what should happen. What should happen is people in New York should easily break 5% for all of them. Why? The Republicans not going to win. I'm assuming Trump is the nominee, but if he isn't, even if whatever, DeSantis, Vivek, whoever, Nikki Haley becomes the nominee, doesn't matter. Whoever becomes the nominee in New York State, they're not winning. And if you're a Republican, you think Trump or Vivek or Haley can actually win this thing in New York State, you're insane. You're an ideologue. You don't understand how New York State works. New York State's 3-1 Democrats, Republican, and Republicans by the droves are leaving every day. Every day. Some people are saying 200 a day are leaving New York, and most of those people will be voting red. So they're gone. We're losing the Republican Party. It's physically packing up and leaving the state. It's not getting redder. It's not going to happen. So if the Republicans win the presidency next year, it will be like Trump did without New York. He'll win it without New York. And if Republicans win, I'm not saying Republicans can't win the presidency next year. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they cannot win the state of New York. That is not happening. So why will Republicans keep voting? Because Republican leadership will lie to them and will say, you got to vote Republican to send a message to Washington, D.C. That's utter horseshit, utter lie. No one pays attention. A vote for Republican in a statewide election in this state, New York State, in a statewide election is a colossal waste of time and money and energy. But people will do it anyway. They just will. They should be voting all third party. Every Republican in New York State should just vote third party, whichever one they want. There's 4 choices. Who do you link with most? right? Vote for that one. That's what they should be doing. California, same thing. In Oklahoma, all the Democrats should be doing that. Democrats not going to win Oklahoma. So vote third party. This is what you all should be doing, but they won't. So the plan would be, Robert, to make it happen, is get all the states that aren't swing states, whatever is the lower party in that one, to just get them all to vote third party. That's how you would do it if it could be done. It will be challenging, but I think that's the way to do it. So yes. So Dave says, so you need at least 60,000, 45,000 is 100%. Yes, that's my point, Dave. That's what I believe. It's 60,000, 65. I believe that, but Republicans may not. Their lawyers will be the decision makers on that one, Dave. They will decide, look, can we do it or not? They'll decide. That's how it will work. So yes. Roger says, free the politicians and abolish all political parties. If only, my friend. If only. If only. Yes. Zachary says, maybe some federal standards for election would be good for American. Yes. I'm not against it for the federal government can set standards on federal elections. Agreed, right? It can't set standards on state elections or local elections, right? That it can't do. But for federal elections, it can. Absolutely. Right? That's totally fine. They can if they want to. Not against it. Absolutely, yes. So, all right, so I can keep going down here. Kevin Kopic says, what is your favorite libertarian movie / TV shows? Movie / TV shows, libertarian. I don't know. It's a very good question. Let me think about that for a bit. I don't want to give you a BS answer. I wasn't ready for the question. That's a personal one that I don't usually get asked, so I wasn't ready for it. Let me think about it. I will come with an answer. Let me run out to my head for a bit. I'll see if I can get that one. So, the Lunatic Libertarian says, we are not going to make it to the 2024 election. I hope you are wrong, my friend, but the way things are going, I could imagine it. Yes, I could imagine it. Yes. Brian says, is it time for some onion and a pineapple pizza? Onions, yes. Pineapple pizza, the answer is no. I'm a New Yorker, so no pineapple on pizza. No. If you like pineapple on pizza, you are wrong. Done. New Yorkers do not believe in that. There's an exception if you like Hawaiian or something. I think then you can get like pineapple if you're Hawaiian. But if you're not Hawaiian, you don't get to have pineapple on pizza. It's bad. It's sacrilege. Stop that, Brian. Onion's fine. Enjoy. Yes, absolutely. So as I thought thinking about libertarian movies and libertarian TV shows, it's so tough for me to come up with one because I for most of my life, to be full with you, I didn't look at movies through that lens at all, right? I'm a libertarian since 2012, so about 11 years. So prior to that, I wasn't very political in general, so I didn't look through at movies that way at all, right? I didn't think about it that way. I guess if I had to say one recently, it is a series of movies that actually weren't very good movies, but libertarian, they were a home run. And that was literally the Ayn Rand make of Atlas Shrugged. There were 3 movies. For those who don't know, there was Atlas Shrugged Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. And the movies struggled to get made. I mean, struggled to get made to the point where the actors in each movie are different for each person. So like who was Danny Taggart in 1 is different in Part 2, different in Part 3. They couldn't keep the actors together. It was really hard to put together because while I liked the story of the book, and this is going to make some of you Ayn Rand is angry, it wasn't a good book. Rand is not a great writer. I liked a lot of her ideas. There were a lot of cool ideas in the book. There were many of them that were cool, but she's not a great writer. So the movie just wasn't great. However, a lot of libertarian ideas in that were pretty good, even though Ayn Rand actually didn't like libertarians. She actually wasn't a libertarian. She's an objectivist, which is different than a libertarian. But there's a lot of overlap, right? There's a lot of overlap between objectivists and libertarians. There is overlap, but they are different. So yeah, I guess that's it. So yeah, all right. All righty. The lunar eclipse, similar to the lunar libertarian, but different, says, Larry, not to dismiss innocent lives of both Israelis and Palestinian civilians, the top 0.1% needs another distraction. Israel is Ukraine 2.0. Well, This is one of the reasons why I'm talking about this today. To be forward, this is one of the reasons why I'm talking about this today. And there are many of them. But regardless of what happens in Ukraine, regardless of what happens in Israel, a year from now, maybe two, but I think a year from now, this will all be forgotten again by us. We will be on the other thing. This is my opinion. You'll see if I'm right. I'm going to give you an opinion. A year from now, the Ukraine war, I think, will have slowed down insanely. Maybe earlier, but at least by a year from now. And there will be some form of peace treaty or armistice or something on the table, if not already signed. And I think Russia will keep a bunch of Ukraine anyway. It will, either way. And Ukraine will have some form of sovereignty either way. I think it's going to happen. And I think it doesn't matter if another 10,000 people die there or 100,000 people die there. I think that will be the outcome either way. And that's sad. Because because the thing that's going to keep going is hatred. What this war in Ukraine is going to maintain is a whole lot of hatred. All of those young and now middle-aged men who were killed or maimed, they're going to blame the other, call them monsters, and it's going to validate atrocities on both sides. All that horrible stuff there is nothing's going to get better than basically from about a year ago. If you go back about a year ago from now, the lines that were there about a year ago from now will still be there a year from now. So it's 2 years. Similar lines, not the same, but similar. And then a year after that, we won't be talking about it anymore. We'll be talking about whatever the next thing is. We'll be talking about that. And you know what will still suck? Our electoral politics will still suck. Yes, we won't have, if you're on the left, we won't have better health care, we won't have better education. If you're on the right, we will not have closed the border. We will not have solved any other. None of that will be solved. We won't have solved the fentanyl crisis. None of that will be solved. None of our problems will be solved. Whether you're left or right, they will not be solved. And our electoral problems will still exist. And Ukraine and Russia will now have more hatred, more anger, and a similar border. Israel, exactly the same thing. And I'll make people who love Israel will be mad at me. People who love Palestinians will be mad at me. I'm just telling you the truth. A year from now, Israel will still have security issues, will not have a clear border. The Palestinians will still not have a clear homeland. They will still be in trouble financially, economically, socially, in every way possible. They'll still be screwed. Nothing will change in that regard, except there'll be thousands of dead Israelis and thousands of dead Palestinians. That'll be difference. But to your exact point, Lunar Eclipse, the top 0.1% will still be fine. They'll be fine. I've said it publicly and I believe it publicly. None of them want to fix any of these things. They don't want to. You're telling me Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't want to fix this. You're telling me Iranians don't want to fix this. The Saudis don't want to fix this. Biden doesn't want to fix this. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. None of them want to fix this. Are you telling me the entire world can't find a solution? Of course they can. They don't want to. This goes back to our earlier point we brought up earlier, right? Why does a third party have to have answers? The left and right doesn't have to have answers. Because as long as you make the world black and white, as long as you do that, the world's black and white. These guys are evil. These guys are good. Anything they do is okay. Think of some of the horrible atrocities you've seen in Israel. There are people who will defend it. You've seen them. They will defend them. Why? Because their side is good and the other side is evil. That's simple. This validates atrocities. It validates horrible, inhuman behavior in their minds. How it works. Ukraine, same thing. Same thing. And guess what's going to change a year from now? Literally nothing. Not a thing. But what can we change? We can change New York and American politics. That we can affect. That we can change. How do we do that? By getting on the damn ballot next year. By supporting me in this endeavor. This we can change. We can make a shift adjustment. We can. Support me over at LarrySharpe.com/ballot-access. Click the donate button. I'm asking $24 for 2024. 1 year. 1 year of $24. Why? Because I'm giving a year of my life. I've already given 6. I'm going to give 7 years of my life already. You guys have seen me. I'm crossing the state every single year. I go to every single county, local groups everywhere. Local groups everywhere. I go. I meet people in diners. I meet them in theaters. I meet them at festivals. I meet them in booths. I meet them all over the place. I meet average people all the time. This matters. Support me. And if you can't give any money, I understand. Some people are on the spot to give money. No worries. If you can't, I get it. Okay. Volunteer. If you can volunteer, go ahead. Sign up for the volunteers. LarrySharpe.com. Sign up to volunteer. And please clear your schedule to the best of your ability. Again, if you got to work, but please no family trips. Get your kids out of thing. April and May. Don't put if you want to volunteer. If you want to volunteer, clear your April and May out so you can be there to get signatures to the best of your ability on weekends and nights if you work. If you don't work, then during the day. If you don't work, to get signatures. We will need at least 60,000 of them. At least 60,000 of them next April and May in 2024. Volunteer and show up. I will help you. We'll get this done the right way this time. If you can donate money, please donate. Whatever you can give, it does matter. Why? Lawyers, paid petitioners, managers, to pay these people. We have to. They know how to do this. We have to pay them. How it works. This is a statewide management issue. This is not 5 minutes. This is huge. Because for those who don't know, we have to get at least 500 signatures from half of the congressional districts. So it can't just be, we'll all get them in Manhattan. Doesn't work that way. We've got to spread this out among the counties. This is a massive piece. We have to do this. A massive piece. We have to do this. And again, one more time, I'm not just talking the talk. I'm walking the walk. I'm taking the time out. I'm doing this, and I will be out there this weekend. One more time, check my Facebook page. You can check my YouTube page, not my YouTube page, Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter. This weekend, I'm out in St. New York again. Friday, Lynn's Uptown Tavern, Albany, New York. Saturday, the Sherburne Diner, Sherburne. Saturday, 2 p.m., Watershed, Roxbury, New York. 6 p.m., Bavarian Manor, Purling, New York. Sunday at 10 a.m., Wurtsboro Diner in Wurtsboro. Sunday at 1 p.m., the Fall Foliage Festival in Port Jervis. Sunday at 6 p.m., McCarthy's Grill House in Carmel, New York. If you can show up there, please do so. It does matter. Larry, I don't have that much cash. Good. Do you have enough cash for gas to sit your butt in a chair in front of other people? Can you do that? If you can do that, please do that. It does matter. Sitting in that chair matters. If you can afford to buy a drink, or if you can afford to, buy a beer, or if you can afford to get a lunch or a breakfast there, please do that. Support that local entrepreneur if you can. We'll help them, helps us. I talk about local, I help out local. I talk about caring about entrepreneurs, I help out entrepreneurs. So if you can do it, please do it. It does matter. Give what you can give, but you can't do any of that stuff. You can click that like button right now. You can click the like button. Of course you can. If you're watching on Twitter, you can share it. Let people see it. Of course you can. Look, the plan, as I said, is to get enough volunteers, enough cash, so that next year in April, we're able to get those 60,000 signatures. We get that, we will be fine. Because RFK is going to be getting signatures, Cornell West getting signatures, whoever the Green Party's come up with is going to be getting signatures. They can't sue us all off the ballot. They just can't because the people are too popular this time. And I learned all of their tricks last year when I got my ass kicked last year 8 times in a row. I learned what they're thinking about, how they act. I know what to do this time. I've played the game. I'll lose once, not again. I've learned my lessons. So we will fix it next year. That's one thing we'll do. That takes money and lawyers. I wish lawyers all worked for free. They don't. We need cash for that. We also then have to promote the persons on our ballot to make sure we can promote them so that at the end of the season in November of next year, they get 130,000 votes or 2%, whichever is higher. That's how New York works. We will then have ballot access for an independent party here in New York State. That's what we need. That's what I'm fighting for. I hope you guys will support me in this. I'll grab a couple more of these if I can. So, Lunatic Libertarian says, lots of libertarians beating the war drums on Facebook. Let them. It's not the right answer. There's no drums to beat. There's no war drums to beat. This stuff doesn't work. It never does. It never makes things better. It just doesn't. Jericho says, I agree. I can't see peace for Israelis or Palestinians. Yep. A year from now, they'll be the same thing. I also think it really opens everyone's eyes on the failures of our intelligence and surveillance state that is Israel, who apparently didn't see this coming. No, I don't think that's true, Jericho. I'm going to go with this is a 9/11 Pearl Harbor moment. And some of you are going to be upset. I don't care. I'm telling you the truth. This is the question we should be asking. I think you're right. Either Iran did an amazing job, and it's possible, I guess, at helping Hamas to get around all of the power that is the Mossad. The Mossad is a very serious intelligence agency. I mean, these guys aren't playing games. They're very serious. So either they did an amazing job getting around it, or this is they're going to attack soon. Whatevs, let it happen, and then we'll respond. I don't doubt either of those two. So I don't think it was just a failure. It was either a massive assist by Iranians, a massive assist, or they saw it coming and just said, whatevs. Whatevs. Well, now we have a reason to fight a war again. Now we have a reason to raise our budget again. Now we have a reason to ask for more assistance from America again, or whatever is their agenda of the day. So I'm not sure I'm not sure. Yep. So Jericho goes on to say, that's what I'm saying. Israel didn't see this coming, but yet they have apparently one of the most sophisticated intelligence states. Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. I did misunderstand you. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you. Yes. So we're on the same page there. Absolutely. Yes. Lunar Eclipse says, Larry, I warn you to be careful. YouTube will demonetize powerful. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. By the way, I'm not anti-Semitic at all, but people might say that it's possible. Who knows? I haven't chosen a side at all here. I've said it doesn't matter. That's what I've said. I've said the leaders all are happy it's happening. And the sad part is all the people who are on the ground are being slaughtered for nothing. That's what I'm upset about. They're all being slaughtered for nothing. The atrocities are being somehow okayed by the one side is doing it. They're fine with it. So yes, it's really bad. What are you gonna do? I hope I don't get demonetized. But who cares if I do? What I care about here is you guys doing three things. Spreading the word. We're serious. We can make this happen. We can make this work. We're gonna need, believe it or not, we're gonna need probably $500,000 by next year. Yes. If any of you happen to have $500,000 lying around that you'd like to give to me, please do so. That'd be awesome. But we're gonna need that. How do I get that? By each and every one of you doing $24 per month for 1 year. Yes, $24 per month for 1 year. Do that and we will see all that money come in. That's what we need, right? If 1,000 of you did that, total, 1,000 people did it, and more than 1,000 people will see all these live streams, right? When you combine them all, goes live on like 8 different platforms. When you see it, do $24 every month for the next 12 months. We will hit our numbers. We will make things grow. We will make a change in New York State. Imagine this. We make a change in New York State, it will rock the entire country. I'm not joking. We lost ballot access horribly last year. We come back. What an insane victory this is. And then we start running again in 2026 to make actual change. It will shock the state and shock the world. Guys, I need your help. If you can give, please give. LarrySharpe.com/ballot-access. The link is in both Facebook and YouTube. If you do $24 per month for 1 year, monthly donation for 1 year. That's what I'm asking you for. I'm giving it. You got to give it too. If you don't have that cash, no worries. Click to volunteer and be ready in April to come on out and work. Be ready to work in April. Please don't tell me if you're volunteering, please go, I will volunteer, Larry, but my son, my daughter, my job. Don't volunteer. Volunteer when you are ready to get out there and bust your rump. I'll be there with you. I was there last time. I'll be there again. We'll do this again together. If you can give. If you can't volunteer, but no matter what, here's one thing you can do. No matter what you can do, you absolutely can, without question. You can like, comment, and share. That you can do. You absolutely can do it. Does that make sense, everybody? We can do it. I want you to do it. Please do it. It does matter. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for this evening. Thank you for all the questions and the comments. Thank you for supporting this quest. Hopefully you'll be coming to see me this weekend. where I'm going. I've mentioned it 3 times on this show. And you can head over to my Facebook page, my Twitter page, or my Instagram page, and you will see where I'm going to be this weekend. If you are in New York State and you can make it, please come. Showing up matters more than anything else. When you show up, other people realize. And I had a pretty good showing last time. I had a bunch of people who showed up last time. If you can show up, be there, talk to me. I'll answer any question you got. We'll do it live if you want to. We'll have conversations. Please make sure we do it. It does matter. Show up if you can. Give or volunteer. This can work. It has to work. I haven't given up. I don't want you to give up. We should not give up New York. Can't give up New York. Please don't give up New York. Have a great night. I will see you guys